Good afternoon, everybody. This is Meredith Lego, and I am doing a series of videos on Ascension science and the expansion of consciousness and the mechanics of how that works. And if you're a subscriber to this channel, I want to say welcome back. I'm glad to see you again and continue on the journey of learning more. And my entire intention with this whole channel is to share with you things that I've learned through my channeling sessions and experiences of connecting with inner dimensional beings or extra dimensional beings, if you will, through a process. Basically, when I am meditating, I'm able to kind of achieve a good state after meditating where I can tune into those beings and essentially telepathically get some information. And it's been like mind-blowing in terms of the content that's been coming through. It's really helped me wake up and understand, this whole process of, why we're here and what this is all about and how we continue to learn and evolve and grow and expand ourselves just as, consciousness beings. So in this particular video, we are going to learn a little bit more about light codes and a new term, which was a little new to me, fire codes, and how that kind of, plays out in the development of our bodies as we're kind of going through this ascension process. And in many ways, I've done a couple, it reminds me of some videos that I've done in the past, and it might be in, I think, I can't remember the YouTube term for it, but it's like you've got playlists. That's what it is. So it's playlists that happen to do with like what's happening to your body around light and light frequency. So it would, I'm going to probably put it under that general, playlist theme, but it's along those lines, but it's new information. It certainly was new for me. So let's get into it. This information comes from a collective consciousness. Essentially, again, I don't know the name of this group, but they've shared a lot of great stuff. So it basically starts with the light codes within you have a harmonic fixed lock on time and space. So again, we're consciousness and we're experiencing ourselves through time and through space. So, but it's specifically, they say the light codes within you have a harmonic fixed lock on time and space, freeing your created form of physical manifestation yields results of movement across consciousness and stations of identity. And then they called that dimensional shifting, which I had never heard that term before. I don't think I had. Yeah. So they called it dimensional shifting. And then they said movement through time is a bridge. And then the fire code letters are the crystal river connection of your DNA frequency reconstitution. They will sequence the establishment of RNA DNA programming in the matter and antimatter realms. You are in one reality. The antimatter opposite is another reality matrix as a mirror opposite to yours. With the crystal river flows, the connection of information between the realities or the dimensions is complete. It is a harmonic road or bridge. The gap is seal locked and forever perpetuated into oneness. So that's kind of cryptic, and it was a lot of new information. So, they obviously brought up this word fire code letter are the crystal river connection of your DNA frequency reconstitution. So that is also kind of a new term that I've heard, the crystal river connection. That could be referencing liquid light plasma. I'm not 100% sure, and I didn't ask. But they're basically saying these flyer letters are, so I'm guessing they mean equals, the crystal river connection of your DNA frequency reconstitution. So it sounds like we're have the ability or are in the process of kind of reconstituting frequency within our DNA because of this kind of crystal river connection. And it's essentially sequencing or kind of maybe resequencing the establishment of RNA, DNA programming, both in the matter and the antimatter realms. So obviously, I guess when you do things to one side, it has to balance out. That's maybe more of a universal principle there. You need balance, across it. So while we're experiencing one reality, the antimatter opposite is mirroring the same thing. So this crystal river flow, maybe it's the liquid like plasma, but maybe it could also essentially mean maybe it's like energetic connection, like, almost like a line of energy that flows, between 2 points. With this flow, the connection of information between the realities is complete. So it's a harmonic road or a bridge that essentially gets created. And maybe what they're essentially saying is that these fire letter codes actually help create the connection between these sort of bridges, or is the bridge that sort of creates the connection between these two matter and antimatter realities. Then they essentially say that fire codes will run through your body and speed up the spin rate for downloads. Do not question the sequence codes you are given. That's kind of interesting stuff, right? So these fire codes, which again could be referencing to light information codes, it resonates for me that way, at least. That's how I'm interpreting it, because I know that light photon carries information in it, and we've been able to see it and measure it and actually transfer data through light, through very highly concentrated light. So fire codes will run through your body and speed up the spin rate for downloads. So I think what that means is speed up the vibrational frequency so that you can receive different downloads of data from the light. And I do know from other session that essentially means that you're accreting more light. So you're consuming more light into your DNA, you're consuming more light into your etheric body as well. And to be honest, as I've been going through this kind of journey of ascension of consciousness, I have felt the spin rates within my body of the molecules, the cells, the atoms in my body and my etheric body definitely, increase. Like I can feel and have felt the rate of frequency or the vibration speed up inside of my body over time. It's been pretty interesting. But basically they're saying, just don't question it, don't question the sequence code you are given. Higher heaven awaits. Open the spin. Flickering of form occurs more frequently now. Waves of evolution move in stages, and you are beaming an acceleration into your beingness. So let me read that again. Flickering of form occurs more frequently now. And I didn't ask, well, what the heck do you mean by that? But I'm gonna interpret it. So this is my own interpretation. You could have another interpretation because I didn't ask specifics here. But flickering of form. So when I kind of think about this, we were told flat out in the beginning, we're kind of in this holographic construct that essentially you're going to see based upon your intention, your thoughts, and your feelings. So the world around you is going to be a reflection of your intentions, your thoughts, and your feelings. And I also do know that there's sort of very minute quantum particles that essentially flicker in and out of form between matter and antimatter realms. So I'm interpreting the statement that the flickering of form, as in, the form, the form that we see around us, will occur more frequently now. Maybe that frequency of flickering rates happens faster, because we obviously have heard that the spin rates and the angular rotations are sort of happening, faster as well. And the waves of evolution move in stages, and you are beaming an acceleration into your beingness. I just had a thought as I was rereading this, is that, we live in a reality right now, and around us we see denseness, so like I'm sitting at a desk, the desk is very dense, and it's made up of, molecules and atoms, and those molecules and atoms are spinning and vibrating, and the kind of electrons are going around the nucleus at a certain sort of spin rate, and that creates a certain frequency associated with that particular atom. And when they can kind of combine together, it creates denseness. And my perception is that I can stick my laptop onto this, desk, and it will hold and it won't drop to the ground. However, I do know that if I can match my hand, let's say, to the spin rate of the desk, I'll have the ability of putting my hand through the desk. And it's not that my hand is going through the desk. The energies of the two materials, or the frequency of the two energies are essentially melding together and becoming one. So that's what essentially is happening. Now, what they're saying is that the flickering form is happening faster right now. And it reminds me of like a fan that you might have in a house. And I'm talking like an overhead fan, or even maybe a standing fan, although it's more, it kind of shows up more with like a ceiling fan, where when you have it moving at a slower speed, you're able to see each individual blade kind of rotate. So you can see the denseness of the fan, but as soon as you turn it up to the highest speed, you can't even tell that there's a fan there. You can't see each individual blade. And that's it, essentially kind of shifts it, if you will, to a different perceived density. And so that's kind of what like downloaded into me, if you will, when I was reading that particular paragraph, was that analogy. So the flickering of form occurs more frequently now. Waves of evolution move in stages. That makes sense. Okay, so you evolve in stages, and you are beaming an acceleration into your beingness. Now, the last statement that they said was welcome to the club. I don't know if that was me or if that was for everybody who I'm reading this for, but okay, yay, we're in the club. So it seems to me that this whole particular message was just about evolution. Evolution of our consciousness, evolution of our physical bodies, and how that can start to create our maybe a shifting of how we experience the matter world or the reality around us. And while this is happening here, there's also some sort of shifting that's happening in the mirror opposite antimatter reality. And then there's some sort of connection that's being created between the two, called this crystal river connection, also a harmonic road or a bridge. So those things form maybe more strongly, I don't know, and they seal. So the gap is sealed, locked, and forever perpetuated into oneness. So interesting message there. So, I learned a lot, or it was a new content for me, that's for sure. I probably didn't explore it enough the next night, but hopefully I'll probably come back to it and try and ask, what exactly did you mean by this? And, if I do, and when I do, I'll share it with you. So again, hope this adds to your library of learning about kind of what goes on during the ascension process and how we shift our consciousness. And if you're new to the channel, I would encourage you to join if this content resonates with you, and would also encourage you to kind of go back to the beginning, because there's just a wealth of material along the way. And with that, I love you, and we'll see you in future videos. Thanks a lot. Bye.